There are many islands on the north side of Bonavista Bay: Bragg's Island, Green's Pond, Silver Fox Island, St. Brendan's. This is Fair Island. Once a thriving settlement, it's now a summer fishing station. But no, it's more than that, for the fishermen bring their families out too. The older children help out with the fish and get a taste of the way of life that was. They watch an island that's coming back to life and learn from the older people what Fair Island used to be like years ago. Skipper Les Rogers, schoonermaster, fish killer, his grandson Jeffrey, here on a visit from Fort McMurray. Oh, the salty tales this man and his brother can tell, as the three of them rough it out together here on the cabin on Fair Island. It's quite a change from Fort McMurray, quite an experience to see the place where your family lived for 200 years. Here's where your mother was born. The church was here, the school there. Here's where we launched the house when we moved to Centerville. It's kind of hard to imagine it all. Fair Island. It disappeared from the face of the earth in 1961. Now it's beginning all over again. A visit to Fair Island, though, is like stepping back in time. A turn of water from the well. A garden coming alive. Salt fish being dried in the sun. The fishery is slowly coming back, but it's still a far cry from years ago when there were 20 or 30 sail of schooners here, fishing the Labrador coast.
Well, back in them times, everybody could fish, was fishing. And when everybody leave, you leave nothing back here, not only just the old people, what was too old to go to Labrador, and the women and children. That's all we left there. So there was a lot of difference in what it is now.
Now, you all decided to move back in 1963 or 64?
61.
61.
Everybody, that was when the final move was made. Now, there was some a couple of years before that, you know.
Was it on the way down anyway?
Yes, I would say it was on the way down. Things were downgraded more or less, you know. Teachers were more or less getting educated back at them times, good teachers, because they were better on the mainland, I suppose. And then when you got to grade 11, the grade 11s, well, there was two of my crowd went to Trinity School, high school. They had to go to Trinity High School, get grade 11. And then it was difficult getting back and fired. But still, we always done it there, you know. You go one way or the other.
I suppose part of it now was the Labrador fishery started to fail too, though, wasn't it?
Labrador fishery started to go, yes. That's it. Well, you know what happened back at that time. People was employed with labor jobs and woodworking the bays there at Indian Bay because Ballwaters was there then, or the contractors was there, and there was no unemployment for fishermen. So what you make, you make. And you wouldn't get another dollar, none of you, unless you go in the woods and get it. And all this, I suppose, you know, that come against people. The roads start to go through, and they figured it's a better in car than it was in boat. And all this added up to it, that the one leaved in and another one left, and after that, then she started to go down and go.
And so the people left Fair Island. They packed up and moved to a new life in Centerville. The houses were floated in the bay. The church, too, was dismantled and moved. But not before the Fair Island people had a final service way back in 1961. Some were floated on oil drums, some moved on rafts. It was the end of Fair Island, the beginning of Centreville. But as the strange armada moved in the bay, the island people met a frightful sight.
We launched in the fire. We launched in the fire proper and went up in the fire.
That must have been a hard thing to have to face.
Yes, it was. Going on the mainland in the fire, you know, that the used to around Island was saying there were several fires, there were 2 or 3 fires in the bay, 17, 18 years apart, I believe, or something like that. I say after I come to knowledge, but we shifted up into it proper.
But there was no fire like this one.
Oh, this was the worst one, this was.
But there's more than just the fire. I mean, that was your winter's livelihood gone too, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yes, sir. The fire killed Barnabas the North completely. There might have been a lot of woodwork going on there today, you know, if that fire ended, cleaned it all out. I saw it myself one night. You would know there was a million chainsaws tumbling them down, going behind the other, just like that. There was about 25 mile wind on, I suppose. It was a very hard spot.
The trees would burn and topple over.
Oh, you couldn't describe it, so fast as he was going. And from bar the wind was on, it was a hard-looking sight to see, I tell you.
It was a hard-looking sight afterwards, too. The forest was gone. So were the woods jobs. And the new place they'd moved to was a blackened, desolate hell. But there was no turning back. They'd have to make the best of it. They'd faced hardship before out on the island. Island people are skilled at survival. In time, life would return to the land. But compared to what they'd had on Fair Island, it was scarcely choice real estate. Now look, 22 years later. These are the homes that were floated in. This is the Fair Island Church, reconstructed here in Centreville. Links with the past. A bit of the old island here on the mainland. But once an island man, always an island man. Some had to go back.
First few years we lived up there, winter time, when I'd be doing nothing, I'd be out there gunning. Now that's the honest part about it, because we was used to that, you know, saltwater birds. And we were out there turn hunting every chance we get, winter time. And duck hunting. But now the young people has got mostly clear of that now. Young fellas of all now don't come out and do all that much, not now.
But you couldn't raise a family on turs and ducks. A lot of young people moved away to find work. There are Fair Island people scattered all over Canada. But then, as jobs became scarce and the price of fish more attractive, many looked to the sea again. The boats returned to Fair Island. Shacks were built, then cabins, and the fishery came to life. For some strange reason, the fish around the islands seem to be more numerous than ever before, and it's still that way.
They're doing very good, sir. Not too bad at all. They do is very good. Now, July month is the, you know, is the peak of the fish season there for the codnets when the caping is in. So this last 3 years that they were brought in a fine lot of fish here. There's no joke about that at all. Fine lot of fish. Solved the situation, I suppose, and do us all right.
Are they doing as well now as if they were living out on the island year-round?
It's about the same. There's not much difference in it. They come out there for the wick, you know. And when the wick is up, they generally go back in the bay for the stock up again with the food supplies. And now we got a wonderful sit up there when it comes to take your fish, you know, because there's a lot of difference now in for they come in steady fish, because sometimes they're late getting in. Well, it's only just just take the gut of the fish and he's ready to ship. Now, there'd be a lot of difference when you had to come in and split it and salt it, you know. And nobody down making now because all the fish are shipped fresh. And the boat cars here every day, there's gas is brought there, and can't have much better than what they got it.
Beothic Fisheries of Valleyfield sends a collector to Fair Island every day to pick up the fish. There are 3 collection points: Bragg's Island, Silver Fox Island, and here on Fair Island. It's a good system. They try to schedule her arrival as close as they can to the arrival of the boats from the fishing grounds. This is important especially during the warm months of summer, when fish can quickly spoil. Here at Fair Island, they collect 50 to 60,000 pounds a day. Not bad for a community that's supposed to be dead. The collector does more than just collect. She also delivers oil, gas, supplies if needed. It's an important link with the mainland. Fishermen are paid every 2 weeks. They've been doing quite well the past few years. It's a pretty good living out there fishing among the islands they know so well.
Oh, the most sports fish around the Arthur gooseberries. Now that is where the more shallow waters to out that way, where the capelin comes in over the bottom during the shallow water, and as the fish comes in with it, you know, majority of times I suppose, and it stops there on the shore bottom, so this is where he has all the nets to around the Arthur gooseberries. I fished it myself when I was only a boy with orphalus. But now we had only just very few cotton, but the old-fashioned cotton nets back at that time. And they were never good to fish, not like the catgut nets is now at all.
There's not the trap ground, is it? It's mostly nets and jigger.
No, there was. I did hear tell one old fellow had a trap sat there at the Arthur gooseberry there inside one time over along the Dare Island. I was there, my uncle talking about it, but I never seen no traps out there. That was before my time, you know. There's something they never used out there. No, it is really a rough place when when you get a good smooth summer. A lot of shallow water around the island and rocks, sinkers, breakers. Lots of them, plenty of them around there. So smooth summer is all right, yes. But when it's rough, there's a rough spot for a trap. Look that way.
I guess it's rough enough even out there with gill nets sometimes.
Oh, yes, sir. It's tough out there. And it's surprising what them small boats do, Because after all, the majority of them is only just, from some of them, some 17 to 19 to 20 feet long. And boy, he brings in some whack of fish in them sometimes, I tell you. It's surprising what they can do, them small boats. There's a tree here in succession now that them a fine lot of fish out on that ground. And they're bringing in very good fish here, Bringing in very good fish, because they're out turning the nets just about every day, so that's what makes the good fish in the codnet. When fish got lying in the codnet for 2 nights in that shallow water, warm weather, well, you wouldn't expect to have a good grade of fish anyway. No way can you have a good grade of fish, not that way. So codnets, if when you're 10 of them and can get to them and 10 of them, yes, you'll have a good grade of fish.
They leave at dawn. They fish all day. By afternoon, they begin to come back, one by one, back to Fair Island. For the older people, the island has changed a lot. They remember the houses, the wharves, the schooners anchored side by side, the harbor ringed with flakes. It's a different place now. It's a different fishery. You can put away a bit of fish for the winter. Or if you're young enough, you can fish for tansies. Yes, there are worse places to live in the summertime, than Fair Island, Bonavista Bay. dawn cracks over the hill and pours into Fair Island. It's time to get up and out in the boat. The island comes to life quickly, for no fisherman wants to be the last to leave. Now, in most places, the men go fishing, and the women are left home to do the housework. But not here in Fair Island. Many of these houses are left empty, where the women go fishing too. You mean to say there are women out in boat hauling gill nets all day? Yes, sir, that's just what I mean. Look here. About 10 years ago it began. Mabel Horlick was the first to get her license. Others followed. And today it's normal to see the women out on the Offer Gooseberry grounds.
Some of them are more or less permanent fishermen. There's 3 of them there is out most all the time, you know. Well, in fact, the matter, he is out all the time. When the boat is out, their husband's out, they're out.
I guess that was never seen before, years ago, was it?
Oh, no. No, when we lived on this island, you wouldn't see a woman out to jig a fish. I guarantee you, when I was a boy, you wouldn't see that at all. No way in the world.
Well, I suppose it's a great help to have 2 people in the boat and
Oh,
work
yes.
side by side like that.
Well, the way it's gone today, you know, it's gone to this day now that, I mean, women can do just about the same as what a man can do.
You don't complain about it or get sick or anything out there?
No, you don't complain at all, sir. So that's one good thing, you know, seasickness, because after all, there are a lot of good men who've sailed the water and been seasick.
Yeah, that's true enough.
You know, you may be seasick yourself, I don't know.
Everybody gets seasick sometime.
No, I can't say that. I never got seasick yet.
Is that right?
So perhaps I ain't seen much rough water. I don't know.
I suppose there's a temptation to say, oh well, they just go out the odd time, for the fun of it. But no, they don't. At least one of these ladies missed just 3 days fishing last year between April and October. And these were days when nobody got out. We filmed Seward and Mabel Horlick in boat, and later talked with them on land.
Some people might say that the women who fish don't really work at it, but I believe you do, from what I've seen of you.
Yeah, we get up around 4:30, not later than 5 every morning, and go out and all our gill nets. We had 30 gill nets in water this summer. And by the time we get 30 gill nets out and get back and clean our fish and get it shipped, we ship it on the boat down to Valleyfield. The boat comes up and collects the fish, eh? And by the time we get that done and go and looks at our salmon nets and cleans them, a little while after that, it's dark, eh? Yeah.
So you're working from sun up to sundown?
Sun up, sun down, later than that, because usually after I give up work, I ate the fish, I got my housework to do in the night, eh? They got to wash my dishes and tidy away the cabin and all that. Some nights it's 1 o'clock before I get to bed. Till I get my work done, eh? Yeah.
And you cook as well?
Oh, yes, got to cook. Got to keep my husband happy, eh?
Me and the wife was using 30 gill nets, 5 salmon nets, 100 lobster pots. And this we do is our day's work every day.
You don't stop very much out there?
No. Just long enough to cook up, and that's all. And that's only twice a day, dinner and supper.
I believe you didn't miss too many days out there last year.
3 days, from the 27th of April to the 3rd of September. So last summer.
So you do well, but you work pretty hard at it.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can't stop. You got to keep at it.
It's not the smoothest place in the world out there on the Offer Gooseberries. And the boats are not the biggest in the world either. Often they have full loads of fish. I wondered about this.
It was pretty rough today. We were out and saw you out in boat.
Yes, but we've had rougher days than that, you see.
I've fished in a small boat, I've fished in a large boat, and I might say a medium boat. Well, I'd say from 150 tons down to, well, half a ton. But there's as good a living in the half a ton boat as there is in 150 tons.
Mabel and Seward Horlick, fishermen, or is it fisher persons? And the others, Minnie and Jim Noble, Wilson and Christine Pickett, Evelyn and David Frimmage, Bessie and Max Pickett. They've put a new face on the fishery at Fair Island.
What did people say first when you started to fish with your husband like that and become a regular fisherman yourself?
Well, a lot of people thought, I was crazy. I see I was crazy. They had me out fishing all in the nights. But now, several women doing it now. Like I say, there's 4 or 5. I think there's 4 of us down Fair Island. So that's what we do.
So it's a great help. You're a licensed fisherman yourself, aren't you?
Oh yes, I've had my license ever since I went out about 10 years ago. Ever since they started licenses, and I got my own boat license. Seward got 2, and I got one. So I got 3 boats, 3 engines. I got my own engine, buy my own fishing gear, and everything like that. So I guess that's my life now for the next 3 or 4 years, and by that time I'll be retired.
It's something I suppose is in the blood, we was always used to rear up to, and so everybody got used to those islands that would live there. The majority of people always like to come back. I don't know I don't know no answer for it, but as I said, I suppose it's something you was used to, and you comes back here. Same like after you just gone up now so long a time, you're only too happy to get back.
Fair Island, they keep coming back. The young to have fun, the old to remember. It's a place to make money from cod and salmon. It's a place to savor and enjoy. A special place, this Fair Island.
Do you look forward to it?
Oh my, yes. Counting the time, half the time to come and get out there, But I guess that's my life,